Hello, this is R.P.Radford. Got another game for you. This time it's against a guy from Nailsea Chess Club, which sadly doesn't exist anymore. I think their membership dwindled like Keynshams did last season. They no longer, either of them, are in the chess league, sadly. So this is against a guy called T.Stone, nice fella. And we played this game back in, what have I got here? 21st of September 1998. So, Bristol League match. Let's see how it goes. Terry began the game with... I began the game with d4. Terry replied d5. Going into a Slav setup here. I played queen b3. And I was shocked to see him go back with bishop c8. This is not a good move. It's not. I wouldn't recommend this to anyone. Either play b6 or queen to c7, but don't go back with your bishop. You're trying to develop your pieces and to get even with the black pieces to begin with. And Terry went back to c8, and this was just not a good move. And from here on, I'm always sort of a little bit better. Bishop f4, e6, e3, swap off bishop, queen, rook c1, he castled, bishop d3, b6. Now he's played b6 when he should have played it earlier. Now look at his bishop locked in behind those pawns. So I castled, he played knight d7, pawn takes, took with the e pawn when I took him. And now I've got my rook beyond my pawn, threatening to push forward. And he didn't play rook e8, which I think he should have played. He played bishop b7, so now I push with the pawn. Pawn takes, knight takes, bishop takes. He attacks bishop, and I just decided to defend it and let him have the bishop because I want to just get control of the game more than anything. So I applied extra pressure at c6, rook, queen and bishop all bearing down on c6, and I knew he'd obviously take, which he did. And this gave me a slight plus after of 0.1 on Stockfish. That is really minimal, but it just shows that you can get a little bit of an advantage. So he played rook to b8 so that he's able to push his c5 pawn. But here I went on what I would call a winkling out his king. And to do this in this sort of situation when there's no knight defending, you have to try and draw the pawns out. And I did so, first of all, by him playing g6. He could have played f4, he could have played g6, whatever. He could have also gone queen to g6, which I think was probably the best move. So I then go across to h4, threatening mate. He goes h5 with the pawn, and then I attack his queen. So already f6 is now very weak, and I've got two squares on it to his just his queen. He retreats his queen, and I don't see any point in knight f6 or queen f6. It gets me nowhere, so I play queen to f4, and this is a much better square, much better. He played king g7, and I played knight into d6. Now what's nice about this is I've opened up his pawns, his king's on g7. It's a much bigger target for me now. He's got a lot of weak squares around his king, and things are beginning to look better. He played f6, yet another weakening move, and I played rook to e6. Now, there's a lot of things you can do when you're playing in chess. One of them is you don't put a piece on pre by doing this, which is what Terry did, which was bishop back to c8. This was not a great move for Terry because he's just, sorry, I've just moved the board. There we are. By doing this, he allows me to play knight e8. Look at that rook on b1. I'm protected because the bishop went back. what can you do? Rook takes knight, rook takes rook, queen takes rook, and then queen takes rook. Whole piece down. Well, it will be an exchange down. Rook and queen against queen and bishop. But I would fancy my chances here, I think, in this game. Stockfish certainly thinks so, because it's given me a 4.7 winning advantage, and that's usually enough to win a game. He would play rook takes e8, rook takes e8, queen takes e8, queen takes b8, bishop d7, swap off, queen takes a7, and then h4 for him. And I'm a pawn up and exchange up, so that's enough. That's enough, I think. Thank you. Thank you for watching this game. I hope it's been instructive in some way, and even has been entertaining for you to watch. Anyway, thank you very much. See you next time.